We are here at the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industries Quezon City Forum, The Power of She. Women Redefining Leadership Across Industries. This brings together some of the country's influential women leaders to talk about what it truly means to lead in today's evolving business landscape.
It's an opportunity for us to celebrate women, to remember the impact and the influence and the contribution of women.
Women helping women, great things happens for the business, for the community.
It's no longer man's world. It became men and women's world.
We are now open for business.
It is a signal to the world. We are open for business.
We are here at the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industries Quezon City Forum, The Power of She. Women Redefining Leadership Across Industries. This brings together some of the country's influential women leaders and even male allies to talk about what it truly means to lead in today's evolving business landscape. From real-world experiences to personal journeys of breaking barriers, this event dives deep into how women are shaping industries, driving innovation, and turning her story into action. Let's step inside and hear from the voices redefining leadership in the Philippines.
It's an opportunity for us to celebrate women, and I think it's a good thing that we pause and take opportunity, even just for a month, to remember the impact and the influence and the contribution of women, not just to business, but to the whole community, and especially in the family, right? And we also want to remember the contributions of women in the past who made these opportunities available for women now.
In the learning sessions, Pres Ann, there were a lot of insights. Some are funny insights, some are, these are very interesting, but I'd like to know your experience. You are a leader as well in other organizations, even in corporate. So far, what has been your advantage as a woman in business? And maybe you can talk about your professional life.
I think it's the season of my life now that my kids are already grown. Two are in college and one is in high school. And I just recently watched a reel by Oprah that says that when you're in your 40s, it's a perfect time to do business or to do projects because it's a point in your life where you've already created networks and connections and relationships that you can maximize to be used in your business. So I think it's a time of my life where I've gained enough experience business-wise, in family life, in relationships that I'm able to even share with other women. Yeah.
But even if you have this expertise and experience already, I learned, and based on our conversation, that you don't stop learning, di ba? Why is that?
Life is not just about the limits. You have to think, that even as a woman, your limit is the hedges that you put around yourself. So if you're open to learning, there's no limit to learning. The question is, in what areas of your life and in your community you want to impact on, and how can you enrich yourself so that in continuous learning you're able also to help the community that you are in. The learning is not the end of itself, but the process of being updated so that you are able to be relevant to the business that you're in, the community that you're in. So the purpose of learning is service.
There are instances also in the previous speakers. They mentioned about some experiences of women where they were somehow overpowered, they were dismissed. But that scenario is changing. Can you cite some of the experiences in your corporate life where you felt that somehow you were also underestimated as a woman, and how were you able to recover?
I remember when I was a young mom, I had this project. I used to do social research project on a freelance basis because I took care of our three kids hands-on. I breastfed all of them. And there was a time that I had this project that I couldn't attend to because one of my kids is sick. I felt bad that I couldn't be there face to face during the conference. And my boss, a man, was quite disappointed because the responsibility was mine. But then I realized I am first a mom, a mother, and a wife, more than other things. So when you come to the point realizing what your identity is, it takes away the guilt that you're not able to do other things because first I am a mom. First I am a mom and a wife. In PCCI-QC, you have a place, you have a space, and you have an opportunity not just to learn, but also be an instrument of learning and teaching and mentoring to others.
What is good about this convention, okay, I've learned a lot that women are actually leaders in the community. And for you to be the best leader, you have to be the best in yourself first. And it comes from within. So how can you do that? You have to develop your confidence. And number one is, of course, you should not be sick. Number two, you should be confident about your body. And because if you're actually confident in yourself, then you can actually exude the confidence and be more productive in the society.
I love being a woman, okay? And because of that, I'd like to share with you how women can actually develop confidence. There are two innovative things, okay, that are in the Philippines right now. I'd like to share with you that we have a big topic on aesthetic gynecology. And this is actually booming in the world and also in the Philippines, and also robotic surgery. What is aesthetic gynecology? This is the fastest growing subspecialty in medicine. So I'd like you to realize, like a lot of women leaders here right now, we are actually in the perimenopausal to the menopausal age group. What happens with menopause? You know very well that you can develop hot flushes, you can have night sweats, you can have irritability, you're not able to sleep well, right? So what do women really want? Okay, women want to have rejuvenation, to be young again.
I would like to share something, especially at this time of crisis. And of course, I can relate so much with Madame, who's also my idol here. No? Madam G, no? I really admire them and I look up to her. And I guess Bea and Aya, I should have asked my daughter to be here because she's on the same age as yours. And I can really fully relate with Aya because I too, whenever we hire employees and whenever they will say that they're student leaders, I will always have this advantage of them hiring up right away because I too was a consistent student leader since elementary and student council corps commander. So competing, and I was also that time seeing in Papagalata, and I was also a UAAP athlete varsity. So, and despite of all of these things, just imagine, as soon as I graduated from college, and people would say, I was asked by my dad to help in our family business, which is banking. So may I know who needs capital here or money? Right, as a businessman, just tell me. So back then, so it was in 1990, and my dad told me, while waiting for your time to be a lawyer, which my pre-course was legal management, and I wanted to be a lawyer back then. But since we're trimester in the South, my dad said, why don't you help first in the bank? And I said, Dad, I said, must you gonna continue? Oh no, my dad made bola to me. No, anak, anytime that you wish to study, continue your study, it's okay. We are 14 in the family, 14, 7 boys, 7 girls. And I'm in the number 12, just come to think of it. And I'm number 12, aside from our eldest brother, who's the namesake of my dad said, I need you in the back. And I said, Dad, why me? I'm number 12. I said, no, I can see so much potential in you. And then, okay, I gave way as an obedient daughter to my dad, to my mom. And I said, okay, I'm going to give it a try. Just come to think of it, the humility that I have to undergo. They said that you're a child of COO, you're a child of owner. But for my part, it wasn't. I said, okay, entitled, privileged, it's easy because you're the daughter of the president chairman. No, it wasn't. I started with teller, bookkeeper, cashier, branch manager, opening branches. So it wasn't an easy step with me, and I wasn't even crying in the beginning of it because I wanted to stop. But pinatubo came. 1991. It was a crisis. And that was a time there was an opportunity to help. There was a different mission. A different thing that you can do with your fellow men. And that thing, businesses was badly affected in Mount Pinatubo. Houses, they said at that time, it is better that your house was on fire because you still have land. But that time, when the Mount Pinatubo erupted, the people in Pampanga, they could no longer have land, they could no longer have houses, they could no longer have businesses. And my dad said, that time, the commercial banks stopped lending money because why will you lend money? My dad said, the more I need you now. I said, why that? Because you were able already to go on the different aspects of the job and task in the bank. And the people in our kababayan needs us more than ever. This is the time that the more we should lend to the MSMEs, to the farmers, and to the entrepreneurs. And so we did. Because of that, of what we did, we encountered a lot of loyalties by patronizing GR Bank. And back then, we were not even in top 100. And after that, and from there on and henceforth, we became the leading rural bank in the whole country.
I learned so much about my co-panelists. I really put so much value in intergenerational learning on how they have paved the way for us so that we are able to do what we want to do today with our current projects. And in Eco Uling, we manufacture eco-friendly charcoal briquettes made from coconut waste instead of wood. We are an alternative fuel. Lalo na ngayon, it's crisis with the oil prices going up. And it's very important for us to hear the experiences of fellow business women on the ground and how to deal with our rural communities and community development. Because when we invest in rural economies and in women together, we improve as a whole society. And lalo na ngayon more than ever because it's like COVID again. We're experiencing so much crisis.
You're very young, but your views on sustainability, because a lot of people are already on that, especially the discussion of ESG, and here you are providing that alternative solution to a specific problem. Was that a plan as someone who belonged to the young generation?
Yes, of course. It was a vision. It is a planned business, and we've been a registered SEC stock corporation since 2022. But we started as a livelihood project in 2015.
And so far, do you plan to scale it? Where do we see Eco Uling going?
We are scaling, actually. We have sold over 4 million kilos of Eco Uling, and we have saved 300,000 trees. Currently, our factories are in Rizal and in Davao, and we have a decentralized manufacturing production model, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. We supply B2B restaurants in hotels and restaurants, and to your favorite chefs. And soon we're gonna be available e-commerce, and you can reach us through email and all social media platforms at ikuulingph.
Did you know that in BARM, I work closely with women leaders. Most of the cooperatives are led by women. Akala natin it's the datu, diba? Akala ko rin. But when I came there, the decision makers on the ground are mostly women. So parang, wow, mahihiya kapag di ka magaling. Parang ganun. And currently, our current project is that we deploy the technology in rural communities, paprahans, coconut farming communities sa kanayunan or somewhere that is not reached yet by the market. We deploy the technology for free, all cost expense paid by Iko-Uling, and then we buy all that will be produced by the community. And with that kind of business model, imagine the Philippines is composed of 52% rural. Yung nakikita natin ngayon, hindi ito ang Pilipinas. Therefore, the most logical way to go forward is to invest in rural economies. But it only takes a heart of a woman and to lead with such empathy to make it happen, because it involves so many, going on the ground, community development aspects. Communicating with them, living with them, immersing with them, focus group discussions, but actually it's really about pakikisama, getting to know the people. If you are not aware or familiar with how it is sa mga probinsya na kakilala system, or katiwala mo ba yan, kakilala mo ba yan, kaano-ano yan, ni ganito, ganyan. It's really about relationships. I'm always so torn whenever it's Women's Month. You know why? The fact that we are still celebrating Women's Month, it means we still need Women's Month. In my head, it's already common sense that sobrang galing ng mga kababaihan. But then, it's just so weird for me that we still have to remind each other that women are so great at Anyway, but at the same time, I'm happy because it means that in intergenerational aspect, we all agree that we need to take this forward and to progress our society into a place where women and men are equal and all genders are. I would also like to acknowledge the fact that we all have our sets of privileges. It's so nice when you said that we need to pay it forward. I was also fortunate enough to have those means, like education, to be exposed to people like you. I'm still very young, so listening to your stories really inspire me to the days to come forward.
There's a book called 100 Models of Strategic Thinking, and it has from very, very simple to very difficult, like trigo and all of that. So we're teaching critical thinking in that sense, because that tells us that if we are critical thinkers, we will choose the best leaders, and we ourselves will become good leaders. So that's one. I think communication. The reason why only 10% is the IB-PAC industry, the BPO industry, only 10% of the applicants are accepted. There are so many job openings there, and yet it's the number one source of revenue actually right now in our country, and yet they cannot fill the positions because of lack of communication. And so we make sure that our graduates have very strong quality control. In the language standards, you have A1 as the lowest and C2 as the highest. Using the CFR, these are the International Standards for Communication. A1 should be primary, A2 should be intermediate, B1 should be first year, second year. And when they graduate to high school or college, they should be at least B2. If you don't get a B2, you are really sure that you cannot land a good job, especially with big corporations. So we make sure that all our graduates have at least a B2 score so that they can apply. And of course, digital fluency is very, very important. Now, it's a language, it's a technological language that knows no barriers, and so therefore we're also strong in that. So besides their own competencies in their fields of discipline, it's that the ones that will make you enter the corporate world with the communication, problem solving, critical thinking, and digital fluency, but anchored on values, integrity, citizenship, grit, and character. For 2 years, we researched really on the effectiveness of the program. So it is just being launched this April. But we already gave it to some public schools. But we are ready to say, hey, we can guarantee this because of our 2-year experience. So please see me, and we'd love to help in our own little way how we can help the Philippine education system and the millions of potential people who will join our Philippine workforce.
Earlier, I was listening to your speech. You have very humble beginnings. You're here now, you're very established, and from a kalabaw to a huge school brand in the Philippines. So, in a nutshell, to whom would you attribute that success as a woman?
I think the belief that I can do, the belief that if you have the spirit, you can do whatever it is that you have accepted the responsibility for. That's why I always say, never break the spirit of a child or a person. Because once you break the spirit, that person will no longer have the confidence and the drive to be able to achieve his dreams and his goals. So it's that. I think my spirit was not broken because in a rural community, everybody's the same, everybody's poor. So as a result of that, I never saw myself as very disadvantaged or impoverished. I enjoyed nature. I enjoyed playing with earthworms and butterflies and even snakes. And in our place, there was a lot of firing and shooting, and we made ball pens out of bullets. And so we enjoyed even the floods. We enjoyed it. We made wraps out of banana stalks, and so that's why I believe that evolution is trying to be better each day, whatever the circumstances are. Actually, this is my first time to attend a PCCI event. I have many friends who are with PCCI, Consul, Nina, Sarah, Arnel, Marivic. But I'm so amazed. I'm so amazed by how businessmen can get together and support each other instead of compete and put down each other. I'm so amazed. And the speakers that I heard today were also all very educational, a lot of information, a lot of sharing, and a lot of updates on what's happening. So it was actually a very inspiring afternoon. And I'm so happy that Filipinos can collaborate because they always say Filipinos, are like crabs, they pull each other down. But in your organization, I see that you're pull each other up. And so it was a great insight that I have that businessmen known for profit and as the end goal can actually build beautiful relationships and reach their goals together.
Wow. Your advice to women who also would like to go into business and later on build their own school as well.
My advice is have a good product. When I started, I didn't know because I'm not finance or business graduate. My field is literature and psychology. So I never did a feasibility study. And so I didn't know that there were 35 other schools in the vicinity. Maybe had I known that, I would probably have frozen in my tracks and I wouldn't probably have decided on it. But the reason that I went for it, and maybe this is advice that I can give, if you have a very good product, no matter how crowded the market is, you will thrive.
Ngayon ang mga babae, women leads, maraming mga companies na nag-excel, nagiging successful because of the women leader. So I am a member of one of the board of the Women Business Council Philippines. Yan ang isa sa mga ginagawa namin to empower women helping women. Great things happens for the business, for the community. Iba ang passion Very passionate ang mga women sa pagnenegosyo. At saka iba yung puso nila, no? And talagang makikita mo like me, I start from the small company and then ngayon napalaki ko. Kasi nandun yung aking perseverance, yung determination ko, no? At saka go-getter. Yan ang mga babae, go-getter. Ang dami talagang na-achieve. And dahil sa mga support, no? Of course, being a woman need also support from others. And nakakatulong yan.
Sinasabi mo na parang maraming advantages din at character yung mga babae na bakit kayo nagtatagumpay. Pero what are your personal experiences to prove that this data is true po?
We make things happen. Yun yung isa sa mga of course yung grit laging napapansin, yung grit, yung agility, yung passion, and yung sympathy, empathy. Marunong din kaming tumingin. Like in our employees, our people, we take care of our people because we know that they take care of our business. So, pag nandyan ang mga tao mo, empowered sila, continuously growing, no, as a company, as a community. Kasi dito sa PCCI, nabanggit ko nga kanina, I'm the first female president. So, nakita mo, na-level up ko rin yung PCCI-QC, no, na-connect and naging inclusive, naging more connected, no, with each other. So yung tulong ng support with each other, napakalaking bagay. Kasi isa rin sa mga advocacy ko is the SME development. Naging part din ako ng sa PCCI committee ng SME development. So marami kaming programs helping MSME. So may mga programs dyan. Saka ito volunteer, no? Kasi this is my stage now, paying it forward. Kasi hindi naman ako successful without someone or somebody na tumulong sa akin. So now I'm also extending my support, my resources to others para matulungan ko rin sila. Kasi the more we multiply, the more we can help our nation thrive. Kailangan, ang mga business sector na lang talaga ngayon ang nagtulong-tulong to lift up the countries. Talagang kami nga sa PCCI-QC laging nagpo-promote. We go different countries for the trade mission, promoting Filipino products and services, promoting our country. Kasi wala nang ibang pwedeng tumulong, no? Kasi kung walang negosyo, walang trabaho. So, yun. We provide talaga opportunities for others. Hindi na kami tumitigil because it's not for our own satisfaction but also for others, no, na mabigyan ng opportunities like employment, boosting our economy by paying our taxes. So, ganun yung ginagawa natin. For those all women who want to go business, no, you need to know what you want. Decide what you want and then hindi ganun kadali, no? You have to pay the price of achieving your goals, and during your mga challenging time, never give up. At PCCI-QC, we are here to grow with you. We are here to mentor you. We are here to connect you to other network, government agencies, to suppliers and clients. We will grow your business together.
And yeah, I've been in the gaming or esports industry for more than half my life. I started my career when I was 13. So I used to compete competitively. I used to play Dota a lot. And I used to shoutcast. Yung shoutcast, parang commentating games online. So yung mga Dota matches na nakikita nyo, ayun po yung ginagawa ko before. And yeah, right now, I do gaming content. Gaming contents online, streamer, yung mga pinapanood yung mga gamers online, baka napupunta sa feed yun. Right now, I try to focus on bridging the gap between gaming and lifestyle. I founded Gamers Run Club, so that aims to promote health and wellness among gamers. Kasi diba, most of the time we're in front of our computers, and we try to influence more gamers to prioritize health because we firmly believe that having a healthy lifestyle can boost your mental state. that can help you in game and in real life too. I think one thing traditional business owners or traditional business leaders can learn from gaming communities is that I think yung gaming communities kasi, or yung gaming companies, they really try to build a sense of belonging. Based on my observation, every time na may mga traditional businesses na pumapasok sa industry namin, which is gaming, they really try to sell their products or put a huge amount of money on marketing and get siguro influencers in gaming, pero without understanding yung community, yung without understanding the industry. Minsan na-underestimate nila how community-driven esports is. But in relation to that, obsession, loyalty. So, you have to get to know them more or better. Kasi, sometimes you need to immerse yourself. Kailangan mo alamin kung ano ba talaga yung gusto nila, kailangan nila, at magugustuhan ba nila to. Kasi once na nakuha mo na yun, I think loyalty comes after. Grabe talaga ang gaming sumuporta. They will stay, they will follow you, and they will support you along the way. And I think eventually, if you need protection, they will defend your ground.
I learned a lot of things, but if I have to choose one, na-realize ko na I still have a lot of room for growth and improvement. Kasi I was really lucky na masurround ng amazing panel right there, and I guess I need to work on myself and of course prioritize myself in the space I'm in.
We know that your industry, esports and gaming, is really huge so far. Do we see more of it? Is that going to be the trend? Are you also looking at the international market in what you do in terms of esports?
If you're going to ask me if gaming is going to be a trend, well, I can definitely say that it's already the trend. Gaming is still starting, but it's a billion-dollar industry. So marami pa tayong ma-expect, especially now na nasa SEA Games na yung esports and gaming and nata-televise na rin. So yeah, marami tayong ma-expect sa gaming, and lalaki at lalaki pa siya in the future.
And then we see, as you mentioned, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Is the Philippine share growing as well? Lumalaki rin ba siya? At pati yung, di ba, influencers like you, di ba? Parang we see them, there's more of it, you earn from it, you build your company from it. And there are personalities who, whose name was developed like you, from that. Lalaki pa ba siya dito sa Pilipinas?
Ang masasabi ko lang po, lahat siguro ng industry ngayon, hindi na siya ganun. Parang stabilize siya sa lahat ng mga happenings ngayon sa world economy. Doon naapektuhan din yung industry. Pero definitely, it's not gonna stop. So especially now, ang taas po ng gas at maraming maglalaro ng gaming at maraming mag-games at magsistay sa kanilang bahay.
Are gamers also really automatically very techy? How techy are you?
I am very techy. When it comes to parang consuming products or services, I do my due diligence first before buying anything. So when it comes to that, kunyari, for example, when pag may darating na kahit anong negosyo or introduction ng business sa industriya namin, pag sinabi naming techie rin kasi, alam mo yun, yung technical kami, in-game, physical, and especially pag meron kaming gustong produkto, ginagawa talaga namin yung research namin before buying eh. Oo, yung mga specs eh, kailangan talaga namin yun eh. And siguro ayun yung kailangan maintindihan ng mga traditional businesses na parang kailangan mong masagot yung mga tanong para talaga tanggapin at hindi i-reject ng gaming industry. We're very technical about everything. We do our research before buying anything. So I think ayun yung siguro meta ng mga gamers talaga even before pa.
Okay. Pinag-usapan kanina, ano bang mas magaling, babae ba o lalaki? Parang gano'n. Pagdating sa e-gaming, Ano ba kayo? Kumbaga, are there times na your women talaga are winning or better than men in terms of e-gaming where you're in this?
Siguro sir, bias ako sa babae. Hindi ko naman sasabihin na better, pero kaya. Kaya talaga na mag-excel ng babae sa industry na to. Kasi sa esports, hindi naman siya physical sports. It's a battle of mental. So definitely kakayanin to, especially now na gumaganda na yung structure ng esports o nung industriya para sa mga kakababaihan. We now have all-female gaming team na nagre-represent sa bansa natin. So moving forward, I guess, malayo pang mararating ng mga kababaihan sa industriya na to.
The team now is very important, it's very critical, and here you are, you're one of the examples of woman at the helm. So far, what are your insights from the various speakers earlier, and what has changed so far from the time that you have did your leadership to now? Is women leadership changing and transforming as you now see it?
Women's leadership is, I think, transforming. It's even becoming stronger because women now realize that they can do much more. I mean, there are many changes that usually, because women have an eye for details, they're able to spot. And from there, they're able to come up with opportunities. And because they are strong, they're aggressive, and they're patient, they can do more.
But earlier, ma'am, there are some data that somehow, although it's increasing, we see that the percentage of men in leadership, in technical know-how, the figures that favor men are still higher. But we see that there's also a shift. Do you see this trend continuing, and why?
For me, I think it's not going to be always that way. Because for me, it's, I think, the partnership of the men and the women that should go together. In that partnership, usually it's the man who thinks, who is the visionary. But it's usually the woman who implements because of her eye for details and for her intuition. She's able to implement whatever is being thought of by the men. Men don't usually have that patience. But with the women beside them, then things can be done well.
Ma'am, in your experience as a leader, do you have favorites in terms of gender, or it's both, where you see excellence in both genders?
I think there's excellence in both genders. As I've said earlier, they complement one another. And that is the strength of that partnership. I'm in business with my husband, and I can see the roles that we play. I have a different role in the business. He has a different role in the business. But we are always combining our influence, our knowledge. We always think as one after all. So, as an example, if one is not agreeable to a decision that we have to make, doesn't go through. It has to be one decision for both of us.
Why is it important for women to participate in forums in PCCI, and what are your tips to women entrepreneurs?
I am already at this age, and some are still asking me, why still am I so active, no? But for me, knowledge does not expire. Knowledge has to be continuous, and wisdom has to be sought after as long as you still live. In business, you need more time to think, you need more knowledge, you need wisdom, you need the help of others, you need collaboration. Because it is in collaboration and networking that you're able to improve your lives. And more importantly for me, I'm able to share to others and improve the lives of others as well.
I had often been asked, how is the landscape, or how are the women's right now today are pairing up as far as the man's is concerned? It's high time for us to recognize the power of women and to be conscious of the men and women equality in terms of qualification and in terms of ability, not only to do the job but to influence and to be a good example, to inspire others. Because if, sabi ko nga, as I've said a while ago, it's no longer man's world. It became right now both men and women's world. In business, we used to support the men as mothers, as girlfriends, as women, no? But tapos na yun. That's done. Let's now wake up and accept the reality that women are now becoming powerful as the men.
Even if your term has been finished, we see that you are very active in a lot of engagements. You never retire. You continue to be active in a lot of organizations and you share your experience and your knowledge. When will you stop? Are women designed to do that? Are you designed to do that, to continue, nurturing, being motherly and sharing your expertise?
Hindi lang naman kayo mga lalaki ambisyoso. Mas ambisyosa ang mga babae ka nga. Because we know we can do a lot. Me too, no? Except that I thought when I stepped down as the president of Philippine Chamber of Commerce National, I would be relaxed and I would just be, tending to my apos, to my husband, to my kids. Give them more time, as I've always said. But I realize it's me, no? It's me being happy doing things that make me feel successful. So when I told PCCI that I want to rest for a year and focus on my family and my business, I didn't realize that my business will grow more than double that I had expected. I thought I will just be expanding my restaurants, my construction, my services. I didn't realize that I will go into building a hotel resort and building a global hospital. I didn't know that things would be coming my way more than I had expected. So, for women, I think not only me, retiring is not it's not really an option. Because you keep on thinking and you keep your mind busy. In doing so, you feel healthy, you feel beautiful, and you feel inspired. And that your family works with you along the way. So it becomes really an affair, not only by the husband and the wife, but the whole family. Because they're inspired by seeing you happy doing a lot of things.
Alam naman natin na napakahirap ng kalagayan hindi lang ng bansa kundi buong mundo ngayon dahil sa pagtaas ng presyo ng langis, ng mga bilihin, kasunod na sabi nila ay medyo mabagal, may kabalagalan ang mga kaganapan para ma-mitigate yung impact ng oil at saka energy crisis. Bilang babae, I know that, di ba, pag as women, as mothers, you control the purse, di ba? In the context of the theme, as a woman, what's your reaction on the developments that are happening now, and what probably tips can you share to other women to make sure that they too will thrive in these challenging times?
On the onset of this, I would say, conflict, immediately we did a lot of things to address this crisis. It's not actually a crisis yet, but we better be prepared. Kahit na alam natin, ito, everybody knows, ang mga Pilipino are very good. They're very resilient. And they always find ways to solve the issue or to address the issue. No? But to us business people, we did it in advance. Me, for example, in my company, we asked them on an alternative time to, some comes at 8, some 9, some 10, and we prohibited them from using their cars. We provided them with service bus waiting for them. For the restaurants, we provided them bicycle. Yeah. Even women are using bisikleta. Coming from Antipolo, papasok naka-bisikleta. Because, let's face it, hindi nga inaproban ng pagtaas ng sweldo But again, everything tumataas. So, instead na gamitin nila yung kanilang mga kotse, gumamit sila ng something that will not be using gasoline. Diba? And that we give them some incentive for them to be encouraged to use this. Instead of them spending for pamasahe, mag-bike kayo. Parang nung pandemic. During the pandemic time, for example, the restaurants are not paying lease to the malls. The owners are very understanding. No, yes. But this time, how can you tell them na don't charge us lease when they are the ones using kuryente na malaki? They're spending a lot as well. Diba? And wala silang pagkukunan sa nila i-charge. Nakikita namin ngayon meron ng kahit na papaano impact. Yun nangyayari. Napapansin mo even the traffic right now is lighter. Right? Restaurants ngayon bumaba. The sales. Kasi people are no longer going out. How long will this last? We don't know. Everybody's on a wait-and-see attitude. Because some people are asking, mawawalan ba tayo ng gasolina? We don't know. But, sabi ko nga sa'yo, Filipino are very resilient. Filipino very resourceful. They know how to address issues. So, hindi kami natatakot. Business maybe might suffer a little, pero it will not be to a point na tayo maghihirap.
Leadership is no longer defined by titles or tradition, but by impact, inclusivity, and the courage to change the norm. The power of she reminds us that when women rise, industries evolve, communities thrive, and futures are transformed. And perhaps the most powerful takeaway, leadership is not about gender, but about empowering voices, creating opportunities, and driving meaningful change. This has been your front row seat to women redefining leadership across industries. Maraming salamat sa isang oras na pagsama sa amin upang tunghayan ang isang makabuluhang usapan ukol sa negosyo dito lang sa Open for Business. Hanggang sa susunod na linggo, samahan nyo kaming muli dito sa Open for Business. Catch us too on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe on our social media page at Net25TV. We will bring you more insights from industry experts, thought leaders, CEOs, and featured SMEs. Together, let us help encourage business development in the Philippines. Sharpen your business acumen. Feel the pulse and set the trend for as long as you're informed and open for business. Ito po si Cesar Vallejos. Marami pong salamat.